Women aren't sinking, they're surging. And the reason? They've got a kind of energy that's off the charts. Nothing you can do about it. If you've been married for more than, say, 3 days, you already know this truth firsthand. Women are like nuclear reactors, powerful, unpredictable, and built to light up or blow up a city. Even my grandson says so. Psychologists back it up. I've even seen it written in old philosophy books. Women carry energy 9 times stronger than men. And honestly, I believe it. My wife. She's got enough voltage to jumpstart a dead planet. Now let me ask you, where do you think all these men's clubs came from? I'll tell you this, it wasn't for profit. No real economic logic behind them. Men don't gather in crowds like women do. We've got jobs, responsibilities, stuff to fix. We're not exactly organizing tea parties. But one time, something clicked. I was at this big festival, some psychology and relationship event. Guys showed up, dragged by their girlfriends or wives. You could see it on their faces. I didn't sign up for this. I just drove. And while the women scattered off to their groups, the men kind of hovered around, hands in their pockets, looking lost. So I thought, alright, let's make something of this. I stuck around. Didn't want to head straight home anyway, and that turned out to be a wild decision. The effect? Unexpectedly powerful. I felt this charge, like a masculine reboot. We started talking, sharing, lifting each other up, and I realized, damn, this is what we've been missing. It reminded me of something ancient and rare. That head held high kind of feeling. Real masculine energy. But what struck me most, what really hit me, was this group of teenage boys sitting nearby, maybe 15 or 16, just wide-eyed. You could tell they'd never seen anything like it. And I thought to myself, these kids don't know. No one ever told them what it means to be a man, not really. When I was their age, I barely knew either. No one sat me down and said, look son, here's what women are like, here's what you're gonna feel, here's what to expect. There were no mentors. No older men passing wisdom down the line. My father? He existed, yeah, but he didn't say much. He's gone now. And I still wish he would have shared something. Anything. And now I hear strange stories from my own son. Odd things said in passing. Like ghost whispers from the plains of Kansas or somewhere just as distant. Conversations with no real foundation. No guidance. Just fragments. So yeah, if there's one thing I've learned, it's that real masculine wisdom isn't loud. It's passed hand to hand, eye to eye. And we've lost too much of that. But we can get it back. Maybe not in big crowds. But in small circles, around fire pits, or even at some weird festival with coffee and folding chairs. Wherever we show up. It hit me recently. Hard. How lonely a man can get when he has no one to talk to. No real connection. And that's not just me. I see it in my son too. I caught him one day before he slipped away. Before he disappeared into his own silence, like so many of us do. Truth is, we never really had anyone to talk to either. Not the older guys, not the ones who were supposed to guide us. Relationships in our world? They're mostly horizontal. Peer-to-peer. Same age, same struggles, same level of confusion. Yeah, we've got relationships with our kids. We do. But society doesn't teach us how to build them. We end up winging it, figuring things out on the fly and hoping we don't mess it all up. And don't even get me started on relationships with the older generation. Those barely exist anymore. Now here's something I once read in one of those books that's too smart for its own cover. For a man to grow in a balanced, harmonious way, his relationships should be split like this. About 20% with those younger than him, 60% with peers, and the rest with elders. That's how you stay grounded, stretched, and wise. But us? We're off balance. We only hang with people our age. That's our comfort zone. And because we've lost the habit of learning from those older than us, we're now clueless about how to guide the ones coming up behind us. It's a cycle, an empty one. And listen, I get it. I grew up in Dnipro. Tough neighborhood. You learn fast, or you got left behind. But even there, The best advice you got from an older guy was, listen to your elders. That's it. And if you were lucky enough to get a real mentor, he wouldn't just hand you wisdom. You had to earn it. You had to serve them first. Not like shining shoes or doing chores, but by showing respect, showing up, being present. That's how you got access to their stories, their mistakes, their wins. Problem is, if we don't serve our elders, we don't respect them. And without that respect, we start to envy them. That's the twisted default setting. Same thing goes sideways with our peers. If we're not truly friends, we turn into rivals. Everyone competing in the same arena, pretending it's brotherhood, when it's really just silent comparison. And with the younger ones, if we're not protecting or mentoring them, we end up resenting their freedom, their possibilities, their ignorance of what we had to go through. So yeah, we're stuck. No elders to lift us. No younger ones to pass the torch to. Just stuck in the middle. Everyone pretending they've got it figured out, while secretly hoping someone older would just pull up a chair and say, let me show you how it's done. But nobody shows up. So we try to play all three roles at once, and wonder why it feels like the weight never lifts. And here's the truth. If we don't take care of the younger generation, if we don't show up for them, guide them, shape them, then don't be surprised when the world turns into a circus with 5 fights a day and no one running the tent. Chaos becomes the default. That's how the world works. It doesn't wait for wisdom. It just fills the gap with noise and aggression. You see, most people think culture is folk songs and fancy embroidery, something played on a banjo or whatever local instrument makes people clap politely. But that's not culture. That's folklore. Culture, real culture, is structure. It's rules. It's a way of life with lines that say, here's how we do things around here. And you know what? Even bad culture is better than none. Bad laws are better than lawlessness. Bad cops? Still better than a street ruled by fear. That's not me trying to sound harsh. It's just me speaking from the gut. Because when things go sideways, and the whole system starts running on fumes, you realize just how important it is to have even a shaky framework in place. Otherwise, it's everyone for themselves. Every man, every kid, just winging it. And that doesn't end well. Now look, when men gather, especially if it's for something serious, the first 20 minutes are always quiet. It's just how we are. Nobody jumps in. Everyone's scanning the room, wondering, do I look okay? Am I the odd one here? But the beauty is, when it's just men, that guard drops fast. We start to realize, yeah, I look fine. I'm good. We're all human here. Now throw even one woman into the mix. Whole vibe changes. Everyone suddenly postures. The air gets heavy with performance. Some guys puff up. Others shut down. It's like switching from garage talk to a job interview. But when it's just us, that's when the real stuff happens. That's when we remember we're a tribe. A brotherhood. A family of sorts. So yeah, today's gathering, it's important. It's built on something that matters. And the topic we're diving into? How to make a woman happy. I like that. Not because I'm some love guru or hopeless romantic. No, I like it because it's practical. It's real. And more importantly, it's not about buying diamonds or taking cooking classes in Paris. What we're talking about doesn't require miracles. It just requires effort. But here's the twist. Most men are already trying. At least the decent ones are. The young guys don't know how yet. And the older ones? Some of them have checked out completely. Gave up. Got cynical. They're like, for what? More kids? I'll make my own dinner, thanks. It's sad. You can feel the tired in their bones. And then people say I teach women how to manipulate men. Please. What I teach, if you listen closely, is how women can understand men. That's it. You want to make a man happy? You have to know how he works. Not emotionally babysit him. Not bend over backwards. Just understand his wiring. Because trust me, when a man feels seen, when he feels understood, he'll move mountains for you. But if you don't get that, if you're trying to win at relationships instead of connect, then you're already losing. The nature of a man? It's simple. Real simple. Like Gustav's soap and a pack of Anapa matches. Basic, functional, and predictable. That's us. And yet, somehow, despite that simplicity, I still find myself in the middle of household conflicts like I've just set off a nuclear alarm by breathing too loud. I'll look at my wife and think, "You're brilliant. You're intuitive. And me? I'm a straight line. So how are we even fighting right now?" You know what they say, for a woman to be happy with a man, she just needs to love him a little and understand him a lot. But for a man to be happy, he needs to love her deeply and not try to understand a damn thing. And I believe that, wholeheartedly, because trying to fully understand a woman, that's a full-time job with no paycheck and no training manual. And here's where it gets cosmic. I read once, some ancient philosophy text buried in a dusty corner of time, that when God created woman, he made sure she couldn't be completely understood. Why? Because he's eternal. And man? He needed something to keep him busy for eternity. You crack the code on women too early, and you're out of quests. So yeah, that mystery? That confusion? Built-in feature, not a bug. Ask any married man who's lasted longer than a season. He'll nod quietly and say, "Yup, that's the game." And I'm already in the game. Married. Deep in it. No turning back. I just keep reminding myself, and everyone else I meet, not to panic. There was this one time I was in a bar. Cold, unforgiving city. Men's club meeting. Felt like a gathering of weathered wolves. I stood up to speak. Rare move. Hand in the air, voice clear. A guy across the room locks eyes and starts tossing questions my way like it's a job interview. "How long be you been married?" 24 years. "Got a house?" "Yeah." "Son?" "Yeah, one." "All right." Respect. And just like that, tension dropped. He relaxed. We all did. No one needed to prove anything. We were all riding the same storm. Some of us just had a few more dents in the hull. Look, what I'm trying to say is, men and women, we're not built the same. That's not criticism. It's just truth. I say it all the time. The only thing we really have in common is our species. That's it. Same planet. Same DNA catalog. But mentally, emotionally, spiritually, different worlds. We're aliens to each other. Sometimes allies, sometimes rivals, but always orbiting the same sun, trying to figure out how to share the same house without burning it down. And honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. We're all different. Every single one of us. Some of us move fast, some slow. Some relax, others grind until they drop. We sleep different, we think different. That's just how it is. Ever notice how even sleep is personal? One guy's out like a light before his head hits the pillow. Another one tosses and turns like he's fighting ghosts. And while all that's happening, the world keeps spinning, quietly, like some strange migration. You blink, and suddenly it feels like women are flowing in and out of the male world, like waves. 1 minute, she's there, soft, present, feminine, and the next, she's in steel-toe boots and an orange safety vest, stomping through the house like she's managing a construction site. Nothing wrong with it. It's just wild. It's a shift. But at the core, we're still built differently. And that difference? It goes deeper than habits or hormones. It's in who we are, in the way we move through life, and what makes us feel whole. Now I've got this list. 99 ways to make a woman happy. Yeah, I wrote them down. Might even share it someday if I find the time. But that's not the point. Let's talk about something simpler. Men, real men, we usually try to take care of our people. When a man steps into marriage, he does it because deep down, he wants to make that woman happy. That's the goal. Otherwise, what's the point? And at first, he tries hard. Not because anyone told him to, but because something inside him says, "This is my job." And here's the funny part. We don't always get it right. But when we do something big, something serious, we feel it in our bones. Our nature hums like a tuned-up engine. That's the payoff. You ever notice how most guys don't bother with the small stuff? Like baseboards. Or that one loose faucet that's been dripping since the Clinton administration. Not because we don't care, but because it doesn't feel big enough. It doesn't scratch that primal itch. No, what really lights us up is the big moves. Buying the house. Landing the job. Fixing the damn roof with nothing but grit and a Saturday afternoon. That's when we feel useful. Validated. Man-sized. But if the big things don't come? If life turns into errands and honey-do lists and endless, "Can you fix this?" notes on the fridge, then yeah, we start drifting. We start numbing. A few beers in and suddenly you're sitting in your own kitchen pretending it's Portugal, because the body's here, but the soul's on vacation. See, we don't want applause for the small stuff. We want to matter. We want to know we're building something real. That what we do counts. That somebody sees it. That's how we feel appreciated. Not by being praised for screwing in a light bulb, but by being trusted to move mountains. Men are wired to go big. We focus on the grand gestures, the heavy lifts, the dramatic plays that leave a mark. Women, they're built differently. Their radar is tuned to the little things, the stuff we think doesn't matter. But to them, those tiny signals? They're massive. See, that's the disconnect. A man thinks, "If I do something huge, I'll be remembered forever." Meanwhile, she's thinking, "Why didn't he text me back with a heart emoji?" Now, I'm not blaming either side. It's just different software. But here's the kicker. What feels like a throwaway to us, that can be everything to her. I remember reading this psychological take once about how men measure worth and recognition. It's like an invisible scoreboard. A man does something, anything, fixes something, plans something, buys something, and in the back of his mind, he's always expecting something. Not necessarily a parade, but a little gratitude wouldn't kill anybody. Now ask a man if he needs thanks. He'll shrug it off. "Nah, it's fine. I did it 'cause I wanted to." Lies. All lies. We want to be appreciated. We crave acknowledgement. Doesn't have to be much, but it has to be real. It's like this. If I bring home flowers, that's 1 point of happiness. A simple gesture. I don't expect an opera written in my honor. But if I buy a house in Barcelona, that's not flowers. That's the moon. So yeah, I expect a reaction. I want her to wake up every day and look at me like I wrestled a bear for her. But here's the twist, and it hurts. Women don't score things the way we do. That ring? That car? That house? 1 happiness point. Just like the flowers. The joy is real, don't get me wrong, but the scale? Totally different. We men, we scale effort. A bouquet is small. A ring is big. A car? Huge. A house? Legendary. A spaceship turned into a butterfly and gift wrapped? You're Zeus now. That's how we see it. Women. Nah. They're consistent. It's the emotion that counts. The meaning. The moment. Whether it's flowers or a Tesla, it either lands or it doesn't. And the joy lasts about the same. I get it now. I didn't always. But I get it. Doesn't mean it doesn't sting when your grand gesture fizzles faster than a birthday balloon. So no, I didn't buy her a castle. But if I did, I'd probably still expect a wow every time she walked through the door. That's just how we're built. We don't need much. Just don't treat the spaceship like it was a pack of gum. Here's what most men don't get, and what's slowly draining the life out of marriages everywhere. You bust your back doing one big thing. Maybe you close a deal worth $6 million. One job. One big win. Meanwhile, your woman's at home knocking out 128 small tasks in a single day. Laundry, dishes, floors, ironing, kids, chaos. Her work? It's invisible. Yours? It shows up on a paycheck. Now here's the trap. In your head, you're thinking, that one job just bought us a house, stability, everything. But in her world, that's one checkmark. One act of love. Same as folding the laundry. And since she did 128 things that day, and you did one, Guess what? You just lost 127 points in her mental scorebook. This isn't a joke. Psychologists have actually broken this down. It's not that you owe her an apartment in return. It's that we're scoring the game by completely different rules. Men and women use different systems to measure love, value, and attention. And if we don't recognize that difference, we're doomed to misunderstand each other forever. You can throw money at it. You can throw gifts. But if it doesn't feel like attention to her, it lands like nothing. Here's what most guys don't understand. Women don't need a one-time grand gesture. They need constant signs of attention. That's the key word, constant. Not because they're needy. Because it's in their nature. That's how they're wired, to feel seen and safe and connected. Meanwhile, the man's mindset is, "Come on, honey, I told you I loved you at the wedding. If something changes, I'll let you know. I'm here, aren't I? I work, I pay the bills, I haven't left." That's love. Yeah, well, that may be love, but it doesn't feel like love to her. Not unless she hears it, feels it, sees it regularly. You could tell a woman you love her 700 times, and if it's said without real effort behind it, it won't register. But draw a flower with chalk on the sidewalk on a rainy Tuesday? That might live in her heart for the next 10 years. Why? Because it showed thought, intention, personal meaning. Not dollars, not convenience, presents. Here's the thing. Whether it's an apartment in Barcelona or a daisy from the backyard, in her mind, that's one act of love. 1. It doesn't stack up like it does for us. We think a new car should count for a decade's worth of happiness. She sees a car, appreciates it, files it as one sweet moment. Same category as a handwritten note or a random hug. So what do? Use your brain, not your wallet. Right, give flowers on your phone's calendar. Set a reminder. Doesn't even have to be real flowers. Draw one. Make one out of napkins. Tape a daisy to the fridge. You think it's silly? Try it. Watch what happens. And when she asks why you haven't finished screwing down the baseboard, don't let her think it's because you don't care. It's because baseboards don't feel important to you. They don't trigger that part of your brain that screams, "She'll love me more if I tighten this screw." But if you knew that doing it made you a hero in her eyes, you'd be down there with a drill faster than a NASCAR pit crew. So if you want a man to screw in the baseboard, don't nag. Just raise its importance above the wood. Make it matter. Make him feel like a king with a drill. And he'll screw that baseboard in every day just to see your eyes light up. These aren't just thoughts. You're building a book. A legacy. A message to every guy who ever asked, "Why doesn't she get it?" You keep talking, I'll keep turning it into fire. There are a few ways to turn things around. You interested? Good, listen up. Let's start simple. Just go home. Seriously? Go home, hug your wife, and watch how quickly things settle. It doesn't take much. Walk through the door and say, "Hey honey, I'm home." That's it. You'd be surprised how much weight those words carry. Yeah, she might be in full chaos mode, hair up, elbows deep in laundry, muttering about something stuck to her eyebrow, and the cat chasing mice. But that's fine. That's her rhythm. That's how she unloads. You just have to show up. That's the first move. And sure, maybe you've been outside all day, working hard, coming in smelling like a mix of sweat and tree bark. But don't take it personal if she flinches a little. She loves you. She's just human. So here's your checklist. Step 1. Hug her. Doesn't matter what mood she's in. Doesn't matter if she's holding a spatula in one hand and a file folder in the other. Hug first. Step 2. Show that you see her. Not with vague, "How was your day?" stuff. That's lazy. That's filler. Ask about something specific. "How was your dentist appointment?" Or, "Did your meeting go okay?" That's what hits. That's what makes her feel protected, seen, loved. That one detail shows her you're paying attention. You weren't just floating through the day, you were thinking about her. And look, if she's out and about a lot, you need to stay in sync. Make a deal with yourself. The best thing a man can do for his family is make it just a little better every day. Doesn't take miracles. Just takes presence. The dream? Sitting together on the balcony, sipping tea as the sun goes down. No rush. No screens. Just quiet. I've got a balcony like that. Mosquito screens, comfy chairs, perfect breeze. But I'll be honest, I barely use it. Life just sweeps you up if you let it. Changing yourself is hard. No doubt. But before we can even talk about communication, we've got to tackle something else. Listening. And yeah, we've got a problem. Most men don't know how to listen to women. We love them, sure, but when they start venting, we get overwhelmed. We shut down. And here's why. When a woman's not being heard, it builds up inside her. Just like a boss who never lets you speak, eventually, the pressure explodes. And that woman you love becomes a kettle, screaming steam until something gives. But here's the trick. Let a little steam out every day. Just give her 15 to 20 minutes. No fixing. No debating. Just listening. Over time, she'll still talk, but it won't be as intense. The pressure fades. The peace returns. And yeah, after 20 years, she'll still want to talk. But if you've been listening all along, it won't feel like an avalanche. It'll be more like a movie recap or a random thought she needs to share. That's how it works. But to make it work, you've got to learn how to listen. And listening? That's an art. We'll get to that next. Here's the brutal truth. Our nature makes it hard for men to really listen to women. We don't listen to feel. We listen to fix. That's our default. We hear a problem, we lock in, and we're already halfway to the solution before she's finished the sentence. But that's not what she wants. Most of the time, she doesn't want to fix. She wants to feel heard. And if you don't get that, if you think listening means waiting for your turn to solve, it's gonna be a long road. Now, I'm a psychologist. I talk about this every day. I live in this space. And even I struggle sometimes. So imagine a regular guy. He's not trained, not emotionally equipped, just trying to keep his head above water. He's got no shot. His wife's upset, and he doesn't even know why. And instead of saying, "I'm sorry you're going through this," he's standing there like a deer in headlights wondering if he should just buy her something or call her mom. So let me tell you the two most important things you've got to learn. Number one, sometimes she's not asking for help. She's just feeling something. She has a right to be sad. That's not a crisis. That's just life. Don't panic. Number two, you've got to create a culture in your relationship where she knows it's okay to express. And you've got to learn the difference between a cry for help and just venting. Here's a cheat code. If she says something like, "Ugh, I'm so done with this place," don't jump in with offers to renovate the kitchen. Ask her, "Do you want me to do something about it, or do you just want me to listen?" 9 times out of 10, she'll say, "Just listen." That's your job. Period. And when she is asking for help, it won't be a detailed report. It'll be hidden in some casual line like, "I wish we could just get away." That's not a fantasy. That's a roadmap. That's her saying, "Get me out of here." Write it down. Take her to the lake house, to the park, to the dang grocery store if you have to. But take her. Now let's talk technique, because listening? That's an art. Give her 7 glances during the conversation. That's right, 7. Look at her while she's talking, not occasionally, and for the love of sanity, don't scroll your phone. Don't overdo it either. This isn't an interrogation. Just make her feel like your attention is on her. You can also throw in a few strategic nods, little sounds like, yeah, or even repeat her last sentence. You don't have to understand every detail. She's not asking for a transcript. She just needs to feel that you're present. Here's where men mess up. We react. We get offended. She says something sharp, and we take it personally. No, man. Don't. Just breathe. She might be venting about the heat, or the kitchen, or the neighbors. Don't try to fix the thermostat of her emotions. Just sit there and absorb. You're not supposed to fix the weather. You're just supposed to be the shade. Now listen. Not every woman's out here trying to emotionally drain you. But if she's exploding over little things, chances are you haven't been letting her leak slowly. That steam builds. And when it blows, it blows. And look, don't take everything she says as your fault. Here's a principle I live by. The 10-90 rule. Only 10% of her mood swings are actually about you. The other 90%? That's hormones, lunar phases, unresolved trauma, a dream she had 3 nights ago, or karma from a past life. You don't need to decode it. You just need to not make it worse. She doesn't need you to be her therapist. She needs you to be a wall she can lean on without it crumbling. That's love. That's marriage. That's the gig. And yeah, we suffer for it. She starts venting, and what do? We assume it's our fault. We brace ourselves, try to explain, defend, prove we're not the monster she says we are. But the more we try, the worse it gets. Because to her, we're not listening, we're resisting. And now we're the enemy. And here's the kicker, half the time, it's not even about us. It's the lunar cycle. It's stress. It's unresolved trauma. It's whatever the emotional weather of the day is. But we take it all in like we're absorbing blame through our skin. And once she's convinced we're the reason for her pain, game over. You hear stuff like, "You're selfish. You don't care. I never should have married you." And inside, you're standing there like, what the hell just happened? I tell guys this all the time. Don't listen to every word. Listen for the truth underneath. Don't grab every phrase like it's gospel. Sometimes it's just pain talking. Confusion. Frustration. It's not personal. Unless you make it personal. And let's be honest, it's exhausting. Sometimes listening to that emotional storm feels like digging through a pile of garbage looking for a white napkin. It's not there. And the more you dig, the worse it smells. But we keep trying. We keep hoping we can fix it, solve it, plug the leak, put out the fire. Wrong move. Here's a better one. Just be still. Don't solve. Don't defend. Don't interrupt. Just listen. Look, I've been with this woman for over 30 years. I know her better than I know myself. And there's no one else I want to make happy. No backup plan. No second chance. She's it. So I've learned, when she's talking, especially when she's upset, my job is not to fix her problems. My job is to resist the temptation to fix anything. Because most of the time, she doesn't need a solution. She needs sympathy. Not logic. Not a plan. Just someone to say, "I get it. That sounds tough. I'm with you." You want to know how women do it? Just watch 2 of them talk. One saying, "I'm behind on the mortgage, the kids are sick, and the dog bit the neighbor." And what does her friend say? Not, "Here's a spreadsheet." She says, "Oh girl, I hear you. That's a lot." That's it. That's the whole playbook. She listens, nods, throws in a, "Yeah, I know." And they both walk away lighter. Men? We try to troubleshoot. We hear, "It's hot." And we're already standing on a chair fixing the ceiling fan. But sometimes, she's not complaining. She's just talking. She's just being heard. So here's the strategy. Don't give advice. Ask questions. Do you want me to do something? Do you want help or just someone to listen? What do you need from me right now? And 99% of the time, you'll get your answer. She'll say, "Just listen." So do that. Shut up, nod when appropriate, and just be there. Because when you treat every emotional outburst like an emergency, you make it worse. But when you sit in the fire with her and don't try to put it out, she cools down on her own. That's the game. You don't have to solve it. You just have to stay in the room. Alright, now we've come to the most important part. And yeah, it's the hardest too. Give your wife 20 full minutes of your undivided attention. I know. 20 whole minutes. No scrolling. No sports scores. No, just finishing this one game on World of Tanks. No checking fantasy football. Just you. Her. And that time together like it's sacred. And I get it. It's tough. We're wired to multitask. We like our distractions. But for 20 minutes, just drop everything and really, actually listen. Now here's the twist. You don't have to listen like a therapist. She's not gonna give you a quiz later. You're not expected to remember the name of her coworker's cat or what her second cousin posted on Instagram. That's not the point. The point is she wants to feel heard. That's how she knows she's loved. You can bust your back all day, work overtime, bring home a diamond ring, and still miss the mark. Because if she doesn't feel seen in the day-to-day moments, that ring might as well be a shoelace. I once had this couple come to me. The wife was miserable. Husband had just bought her a strand of pearls worth more than 3 sports cars. 3 Cayennes to be exact. She still said, "He doesn't love me." Guy was floored. He snapped, threw the pearls straight into the toilet. Flushable heartbreak. She calmly pulled them out and said again, "You still don't love me." Killed him. Not physically, but emotionally. Crushed. Here's what he didn't get. She didn't want pearls. She wanted presents. She wanted someone to stroke her hair and hand her her favorite candy. The same kind her dad used to give her when she was a kid. That's what she needed. That's what mattered. It's not that you shouldn't give pearls. Give them. Be generous. But don't forget the candy. Because for her, that tiny, personal, thoughtful moment might mean more than the big gift you nearly bankrupted yourself to buy. So give her your time, your eye contact, your attention. Just 20 minutes. And not like you're doing her a favor, do it like you're investing in the one person who still believes in you when the rest of the world is throwing elbows. Women aren't confusing. They're just speaking a language we were never taught to understand. They don't want constant fixing. They don't need grand solutions. What they crave is presence, attention, connection. Not once a year on anniversaries, but daily. Quietly. Thoughtfully. A bouquet doesn't need to cost a fortune. A compliment doesn't need a reason. And love? Real love? It's not proven through big, dramatic acts. It's whispered through consistency. Through listening. Through showing up when you'd rather check out. And maybe that's the hardest thing we do as men. Not build. Not provide. But sit still, stay soft, and stay engaged, even when it makes no sense to us. We're not heroes because we fix everything. We're heroes when we choose not to run away when it gets uncomfortable. So here's my challenge to you. Are you man enough to not fix her problems? Can you look her in the eye and give her 20 uninterrupted minutes, even when the game is on? Can you stop measuring your love in things, and start expressing it in time? Yeah, thought so. If you've made it this far, you know there's more where this came from. But I'm not gonna drop the rest of the list unless you ask for it. You want the next part? Drop a comment below. Say, continue the list, and I will. And hey, if this hit home for you, if something clicked, if you saw a little of yourself in this story, subscribe. Don't just scroll by and forget it. This is the kind of stuff that rewires relationships and saves marriages before they fall apart in silence.